Welcome to the Indie Music Room, a conversation with independent artists about writing, recording, performing, and promoting their original music. And now here's your host, Heather Kelly.
Hey everybody, you're listening to Heather Kelly with the Indie Music Room, and I'm here this month, the month of May, to introduce our artist of the month, Mike Rockert. Welcome, Mike. How are you today?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. Why don't you tell a little bit, everybody, where you're from, kind of your background, so they know where you're from and who we're talking to.
All right. I'm from Illinois, a small town south of Chicago. Not exactly a small town, but from the Kankakee area. Grew up as a kid loving music. Had two older brothers that got me into bands like Van Halen and Aerosmith and Alice Cooper. And then they brought home these albums with these crazy guys with makeup on. Who is this? I found out this was a band called Kiss. And I've been hooked ever since.
It's funny you should mention Kiss, because I still have reoccurring nightmares of them from being like 4 years old when they came out. There was the one with the star in his face was always hiding in my hamper. I swore.
Nice.
But I loved all those bands. So
but then as a teenager, there were some girls that wished he was hiding in their hamper.
I suppose. Yeah. So you said your brothers kind of were into music and, got you listening, and you were telling us about some of the people that kind of inspire you.
Yeah.
Have you always been a musician? Did you pick it up later in life? Did you take lessons as a child? What'd you do?
I got my first guitar when I was 7.
Okay.
But I didn't really learn how to play it, or didn't really bother how to figure it out until I was about 13.
Right.
Between 7 and 13, it was more just, putting it on and looking in the mirror with the records blasting in the background, thinking this looks really cool.
Yeah.
So then at 13, took lessons for a short while, and then just started doing everything by ear and on my own.
Okay.
Figuring out songs that I liked, and then down the road writing my own stuff.
Right. When did you start off in a band? Was it younger in high school or later on in life, or when did you start that?
Yeah, it was in high school. There was a band that I was in just locally here. It was a cover band, and of course it was the 80s.
Yeah.
So we're doing stuff from Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses and Poison and that kind of stuff. That lasted a few years, and then a couple different bands beyond that. But I was always interested in writing my own stuff. Cover stuff was great.
Sure.
It shows your influences, but I wanted to do my own stuff.
That's why I support indie artists so much. First and foremost, myself as a writer, I don't like to do covers because I can never justify what the original artist did. I can't recreate that for them. That's their song. Right. So I want to do my own music, like you do too, to represent who you are. So
the original has a special place in your heart. That's why it's one of your favorite songs. And that's why I understand the want to cover something. I did an album of covers.
Sure.
But they're nothing like what the originals are. That stuff is, it's just paying tribute. That's all.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about where you record. I mean, obviously I see you in your music room. Do you record here, or do you guys go on location somewhere?
It's just me.
All you. Impressive.
Yeah. This is, I'm home now. This is one of the rooms in the house, and this is where I have everything set up.
Okay.
I will bring people in to kind of guest spot on things. Mm-hmm. This new album that's coming out, there are 2 songs. A friend of mine named John Hebert played lead guitar on 2 of those songs. Lead guitar is not where I am. I don't excel necessarily.
Okay.
But he does. And so I wanted to bring him in. Other than that, everything else is just me up here in my little...
So you play the drums, you play bass, you play guitar. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Interesting. I have some questions because I've, in a little bit here, in a few moments, we're going to listen to your first song called Colorblind. So there's some great lead guitar work in there. Now, is that your friend or is that you?
That's John. Yeah.
Okay. That's John.
The first section is kind of a wah section, wah lead. That's me. He comes in later on in the song.
Okay.
But he's a great player.
Well, impressive. Where did you get all your skills from? I mean, with the drums and the bass, where did you?
I don't know.
You know,
there was nobody in my family that was musical. It was just probably my love of music and listening and watching. My friends would play.
Yeah.
So we would, a lot of times in our teenage years get together and fiddle around. Hey, check this out. Well, how did you do that? And that kind of stuff. You learn from each other.
Yeah. And
you start to take it on your own. One of my best friends, fantastic guitar player, but he ends up playing country stuff.
Right.
That's not stuff that I'm going to do, but
that's not your gig. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody goes in different directions with it.
Yep. I know that exactly. Diversity, so here's the thing is there's enough room in this whole world for every kind of music, every musician. I mean, that's how I feel. And with this show, I try to just showcase all, indie artists. It doesn't matter what genre they're coming from, but it's a creation. So that's the goal here, is to get everybody's name out there for everyone to hear. So why don't we go ahead? Go ahead.
There's a great quote. There are two types of music, good and bad.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
If you look at my phone or anything like that, the collection of music that's in there is really wide. You go from Anthrax to Dean Martin.
Yeah.
That it's good stuff. It can all be appreciated.
Well, all that, that you seem to have a really good ear because, you're self-taught and play by ear, but listening all that music is obviously where you got your sound in the end. So,
yeah.
All right. With that said, let's go ahead and take a listen to Colorblind.
It seems so strange. Be a better man who can inspire change. Hey, what do you know? Find peace and feed your soul. Hatred can take control. I am colorblind. Tell me what you see. What color do you bleed? Don't tell me what to be, 'cause I am colorblind. to the core. No reason for this divide. Remember what we're striving for. What do you know? Find peace and feed your soul. Hatred can take control. I am colorblind. Tell me what you see. What color do you bleed? Don't tell me what to be, 'cause I am colorblind.
All right, that was Colorblind, written by Mike Rockert, and that's a nice sound. You know, the station that hosts this podcast for me is based on 70s and 80s music, and so you fit right in with that genre. I think we're going to have a lot of listeners there. So good stuff. Good stuff. Tell me about your touring experience. Do you go out and play a lot live?
No. The band that I was in high school, we did a bunch of shows locally. There was about a year and a half I was in a band in Chicago, and we played a few shows, but that was it. And since then, there's been no touring at all.
Okay.
I've got 2 shows coming up this summer with some guys that I pulled together specifically for those shows because I wanted to promote this album.
Yeah.
John, that I mentioned earlier, is in the band. Great guys, but there's no touring. You know, I gave up that whole dream of, I'm going to be a rock star. That was my whole thing. And then at some point in life, the moment hits you where you say, maybe that's not going to happen. So you got to go to plan B, but you still love playing music. And that's where I've got a job. That's where I make money. There's not really much money to be made in music anymore.
Right.
But I still love to play and I still love to record. And I record now to put things out. So down the road, my kids and grandkids can say, "Oh, he did that." Right. It's a legacy thing.
It's really cool. I don't know if you've heard of DistroKid, but that's the platform I use to get my music out there. And, they even have these legacies now that you can leave to your kids. So if you're getting royalties per month, should the day come when you pass, you can transfer those down to your family. And, it comes in a little bit at a time. We're all musicians. We kind of get the budget and everything, but it's a nice side job. So why don't you tell me a little bit about what Colorblind was about when you wrote that?
So I was always one of those people who would go to concerts, and occasionally when I would go to see somebody, they would start to get political. And that was a downer for me. I didn't want that. I don't want to hear it. Mm-hmm. Just play. Going to concerts was your escape from all the garbage. But with everything going on, so my last album was all acoustic, very mellow, very soft stuff. My wife suggested that. She's a yoga teacher.
Okay.
And she said, "Why don't you do something that I can do some yoga to?" It wasn't my thing, but the album turned out really well.
Okay.
This album was a complete 360.
Okay.
That last one came out just as COVID was hitting. This one is all of the anger and frustration of the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
And part of that anger and frustration was some of the topics that are going on. Mm-hmm. And racism is front and center with all the stuff that's, in the news and whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm just tired of it. I don't understand why it's thrown in our faces like that. Mm-hmm. And my point in the song is, I don't care what color you are.
Right.
I don't care about your skin color. Are you a good person? Or are you a bad person?
Right.
That's it.
That's a really good message.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't like to, I never pictured myself being political in my music, but there's some of that comes through in some of these songs.
Of course. Yeah. No, I like Colorblind, and I like what you said about that. I think everybody feels like you do, Mike, that, the pandemic the last 2 years, but in addition to what you're saying about our world's problems right now, everybody's just tired of it. So
Yeah.
I can see why you took all your aggression out on that particular song. Why don't you tell me a little bit about For a Time Like This?
For a Time Like This is my version of some kind of inspirational song.
Okay.
Everybody's here for a purpose right now. People that were here in the early 1900s were there for that reason, for that time. We're here now to experience what's going on. And suicide rates are off the charts right now.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want people to realize is they're here for a purpose.
Right.
And if you can find what that purpose is through counseling or through friendship or through your own breakthrough,
Mm-hmm.
you're here for a time like this.
Yeah.
Find out what the reason is, what you love to do, and go make a difference in somebody's life.
Yeah. Very inspirational. You've got great music, and the messages behind them are great. So let's go ahead and take a quick listen to For a Time Like This, written by Mike Rockert.
For a time like this, I was born for a time like this. See the bullseye I never miss. I was born for a time like this.
I was born for a time like this. Full speed ahead, I can't resist. If you're with me, raise your fist. I was born
That was For a Time Like This, Mike. Another great song, great message. I'm inspired by, what you put into the song. It's almost like what's going on in the world right now is kind of what you're writing about, and it suits the time perfectly. So why don't you tell me? Yeah, you're welcome. Why don't you tell me a little bit your writing process? When you write a song, do you come up with lyrics first? Do you come up with the guitar part first?
I am so much more into the music than I am the lyrics.
Okay.
I do all the music first, and I save the lyrics and melody and all that for that last, because that's my weak spot. I'm not a big fan of my own voice. I have historically never written great lyrics. So when that part comes, when that time comes to do that stuff, I dread it.
Yeah.
But this time I went about it a little bit differently. I would come up with a topic like Colorblind or, something like that, Control, and I would start taking notes on my phone.
Yeah.
And not necessarily trying to rhyme anything, just thoughts about what I want the song to be about. Full sentences, one word, whatever. And then after the music was done, I would go back and find out what I wrote about, those thoughts about the topic.
Right.
And from there, try to piece the lines together. It made it a lot easier.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Writing lyrics got to be, they're intimidating to do, but you got to make them flow. You got to make the story so people understand it and connect to it. Yeah, it's good stuff. Why don't you tell me kind of what your plans are in the future? Do you continue on doing this for eternity? Just it's what you do, or?
I'll always be making music.
Okay.
But I think, with this album coming out, I'm trying to do a lot of promotion. And, but after this, I've got these couple shows coming up this summer. And after that, I'm just going to lay back low. I'll record a song here and there, maybe put out a couple singles as they come to me. I put myself under a lot of pressure when I take on big projects.
Yeah.
It has to be done by this date because A, B, and C.
Right.
That's too tough.
Yeah.
So I'll do singles here and there, and they're not even all going to be rock. It's just going to be whatever I feel like playing that day or that week. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's just going to be a legacy for, something for my kids to listen to, my grandkids, for my wife to pass along.
Yeah.
If I should happen to go first. But yeah.
Tell me what you do. Like, do you actually print when you finish a project? Do you print up through CD Baby? Do you have physical copies? Do you do the digital streaming, or what do you do? I
go through CD Baby for all the online stuff, and then I go through Atomic Disc, and they print the physical CDs.
Okay.
And so the physical CDs, I'm old school.
Yeah.
I would love to do vinyl, but it's too expensive. But the CDs sound so good, and what I'm finding out is nobody has CD players anymore.
Right.
And it's really frustrating. So I've got CDs in case people here locally want to buy them.
Especially at your live shows,
Yeah. If somebody reaches out and wants them, I'll mail them. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But I've got, trying to cover all bases. Yeah,
great. Why don't you tell people a little bit about where they can find you on your website and such?
Sure. It's michaelrockertmusic.com. That's my website.
Okay.
And I'm also Facebook, facebook.com/Michael Rockert Music.
Okay.
And I'm also on Instagram, Rockert Music.
Okay. I never jumped on Instagram before. My kids are like, Mom, get with it, or TikTok and Snapchat. And I'm like,
There are too many platforms.
Yeah, exactly.
There are things that I'm hearing of. I heard of something last night. I can't remember what it was, but it was new to me. I had never heard of it. But people were like, "Oh, it's a thing."
Okay.
Right. I'm in my 50s. I don't care about that stuff.
Right. Exactly. You have written the last song that my favorite. Actually, I'm not picking favorites, but my favorite personal was "God Save Me."
Yeah.
All your music to me is upbeat. I like it, but it's got your messages are pretty intense and cool. So tell me about "God Save Me."
That was basically saying it kind of goes hand in hand with "For a Time Like This."
Yeah.
Everybody has had their problems. Mm-hmm. Everybody has their own sins. Everybody has screwed up.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not pointing toward one religion or another. It's just, I realized a long time ago, I believe in God.
Yeah.
Does that mean I'm a Christian? Does that mean I'm A, B, or C? It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
It's a personal relationship, and you have to look to somebody to pull your butt out of a bind sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's what this is.
God saved me.
Yeah. That's
I'm just curious. This is a side note. So when you write something, is your wife the first one to get to listen to it?
absolutely.
Absolutely. Has she ever shot you down, or is she pretty?
She's very honest.
Okay.
She'll tell me parts she likes or parts she doesn't like.
Okay.
But she is by far my number one supporter.
That's wonderful.
She's incredible. I'll be in here. Our bedroom is down the hallway.
Okay.
And I'll be in here working on something, and I'll wrap everything up, and I'll go in there, and she'll say, well, how'd you do? I said, well, I think I did okay. And she'll say, can I listen?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I get nervous when I do that with my my partner too, and he's really supportive. I mean, he's a owner of the studio and a musician for 50 years. But yeah, I get the nerves when I start to show people my stuff, because it's so, when you write your own music, you're so close to it.
Yes.
And it's personal that you can get wounded easy. You got to have a thick skin, but
it's very personal. But she is honest, and I take what she says to heart.
Yeah.
Because she's a big music fan as well.
right.
She grew up listening to the same stuff that I did, and yeah. So she's always the first one.
Yeah, that's great. With that said, Mike, let's go ahead and listen to God Save Me.
secrets here. I have my own sins. Your plan for me is all I should see. Open my eyes, God. Save me.
Was God Save Me, Mike. I like that song a lot. Again, I think it's one of my favorites I've heard so far. I did kind of stalk your page a little bit and listen to some of the others, and I think you've got a great package. When is your new album actually going to be released?
It'll be online April 22nd.
April 22nd?
Yep.
And
I got the box of CDs in the other day, so I have those, but it'll be online for the masses.
yes.
April 22nd.
Okay, great. And you gave us your links. We'll make sure to include those at the end of the podcast so people can find you. Did you have any questions for me?
You play. I listen to some of your stuff. You put stuff out. So
I do.
You I'm guessing go the same route that I do. You're it's online and you do physical CDs as well.
I did with the first 2 CDs, but then I was not able to. The second 2, I just went digitally because it's so expensive. Yeah. But
it is. But I think musicians, whether it's states apart or the next street over, we all have a common link, and doesn't matter what type of music it is. Right. It's this inbred kind of strangeness.
Yeah,
that everybody has.
You're right about that.
It's nice to meet you and another fellow musician.
It's been my privilege. Thank you. Hey, those 2 shows you were talking about, this just crossed my mind. Are those private or public shows?
They're public shows.
Why don't you talk about those in case people want to stop and see you those dates?
Yeah, they're here in Kankakee. Like I said, it's just about an hour south of Chicago.
Okay.
It's the first one is going to be at the Kankakee Merchant Street Music Festival.
Okay.
That's a festival they have every year. It's Friday and Saturday. I'll be playing Friday night. I'm not sure on the time yet.
Okay.
But Friday night for that. And then the second one will be in September. It's called the Estival Festival.
Oh, fun.
This is only the second year they've had it, and it's going to be in September. I'm not sure on the date yet.
Okay.
But they also have a Facebook page, Kankakee Estival Festival.
Okay, great. Maybe you can post those on your site for people when they get closer and you've got everything confirmed. So.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, you know what? It's been my pleasure talking with you. April 22nd is
April
the drop.
22nd.
Okay,
Yes.
April 22nd. And I hope that you stay in touch with me and show me some
Well,
of your releases in the future too. So,
I will. Thank you so much.
hey, with that said, you have a great day. Everybody, thank you for listening to the Indie Music Room. This is Heather Kelly, your host. Have a great day.
You've been listening to the Indie Music Room with Heather Kelly. Be sure to listen every Saturday and Sunday right here on FortDodgeRadio.com and subscribe for all our past and upcoming shows. The Indie Music Room is a production of FortDodgeRadio.com.